Greetings, seekers of forbidden knowledge. I am Rawi Kanipes, chronicler of the unknowable and storyteller of the cosmic void. You have entered the Court of Azathoth, where tales of the Lovecraftian mythos unfold in all their madness and wonder. Today, I will guide you to the very origin of existence itself, where the blind idiot god, Azathoth, fell into a slumber so profound that his dreams shaped the multiverse. This is a story of chaos and creation, of ancient entities who emerged from the darkness to weave the fabric of reality, and of the eternal dance that began it all. So, come closer, and listen as I reveal the birth of all things. Let the dreamer's tale consume you, for in the Court of Azathoth, there is no boundary between wonder and madness. Before all things was Azathoth, omnipotent and omniscient, the boundless source of all. In its perfection, it knew no limits, but even perfection can grow weary. Azathoth closed its infinite eyes and fell into a deep, chaotic sleep. As it dreamed, the first shapes took form in the void: Yog-Sothoth, the Nameless Mist; Yub-Niggurath, the Primordial Darkness; and Nyarlathotep, the Crawling Chaos. They were the first echoes of Azathoth's dream, shaped by the endless chaos of Azathoth's unconscious imagination. Yet the blind idiot god, lost in its slumber, knew nothing of this creation. Reality and all its wonders existed only as fleeting visions in the endless, unknowable dream. Firstborn from the dream of Azathoth was Yog-Sothoth, a formless and infinite expanse. She was the personification of hyperspace, the vast canvas upon which the higher realms were painted. She was a realm unto herself, a dimension beyond dimensions, where time and space had no meaning. Her essence was not solid but fluid, ever-shifting, an endless sea of potential. Within her, all forms would emerge, and all boundaries would dissolve. Yog-Sothoth did not guide or interfere, she simply was. Her presence gave structure to the higher realms, allowing them to exist and expand. The planes of existence, the unseen layers of reality, and the pathways between them, all were born within her embrace. She was the cradle of the outer gods and the endless horizon of potential. Though silent and unknowable, Yog-Sothoth was essential. Without her, there would be no space for Azathoth's dreams to unfold, no dimensions in which the story of the multiverse could be written. She was the infinite void made fertile. The form most understood with Yog-Sothoth was that of a vast sentient cloud. She was a living amalgam of vapor, light, and thought. Her form was ever-changing, a churning mass of luminous mist that shifted from dense and shadowed to translucent and radiant, reflecting her moods and intentions. Within her ephemeral body, fragments of energy danced like lightning, illuminating the swirling currents of her being. She communicated not through words, but through waves of emotion, colors, and patterns rippling across her surface, an intricate language that spoke directly to the minds of those who encountered her. The second to arise from Azathoth's dream was Yub-Niggurath, the unseen energy that infused the higher realms with potential. Where Yog-Sothoth provided the space, Yub-Niggurath filled it with the raw power needed for creation and transformation. He was an endless well of energy, a force without form, pulsing with latent possibility. Yub-Niggurath was neither good nor evil. He was simply power, waiting to be shaped. In his depths lay the potential for souls to manifest. With him all consciousness came into being, allowing Azathoth to experience its own creation from every possible angle and every possible experience. Without Yub-Niggurath, the higher realms would have been empty frameworks, devoid of the vitality needed to bring them to life. He was the heartbeat of the dream, the silent pulse that made all things possible. Yub-Niggurath is an entity of unfathomable mystery, existing as a vast, shifting nexus of countless luminous eyes suspended in a veil of darkness. Each eye was a gateway, peering into a different reality, dimension, or moment in time, their unblinking gazes surveying all that was and could be. Yub-Niggurath was both watcher and gatekeeper, silently observing the unfolding of the multiverse while maintaining the delicate balance between worlds. He radiated an aura of otherworldly calm and menace, for his purpose was neither wholly benevolent nor malevolent, he was simply essential. Born third from the restless depths of Azathoth's dream came Nyarlathotep. He was not born of purpose, a being of ceaseless interaction and cunning design. Where all else in the dream drifted passively, Nyarlathotep moved with intention. He was the voice in the silence, the spark that turned stillness into motion. Through him, the story of reality began to unfold. Nyarlathotep stirred the primordial void, weaving conflict, change, and discovery into the dream. He did not create, but he shaped, nudging the dream's conscious beings into motion, pushing events forward. Nyarlathotep was many things at once, a whisper in the dark, a figure in the shadows, a messenger of chaos. With every step, he left ripples across the dream, causing realities to collide, merge, or break apart. Nyarlathotep was a being of boundless fluidity, without a fixed form to call his own. He was the ultimate shapeshifter, able to mold himself into any shape or guise that suited his whims or goals. From monstrous and grotesque to beautiful and serene, his form spanned the spectrum of possibility. His presence could be subtle, like a shadow moving just out of sight, or overwhelming, like a god descending in a blaze of glory. In every corner of the multiverse, Nyarlathotep could manifest simultaneously, each avatar reflecting the culture, fears, and desires of the beings he encountered. In a billion universes, he walked as a billion different incarnations: messenger, trickster, destroyer, savior. Each shape was a mask, a role he played to further the dream of Azathoth and his own inscrutable designs. Yet, for all his infinite faces, Nyarlathotep's essence remained singular, the personification of interaction, forever stirring the multiverse into motion. The dream would have been stagnant, a vast expanse of unchanging forms. But Nyarlathotep refused stillness. He was the storyteller and the storm, ensuring that the dream would twist and evolve, never settling into silence. As Azathoth's dream expanded, it reached a pivotal moment. From the endless chaos of its unconscious mind, it dreamed of itself. His own image was cast into its creation. In the chaos formed by the meeting of Yog-Sothoth and Yeb, a realm where form and energy intertwined, Azathoth took shape. This self-manifestation was called Thrazalith. In this form, Azathoth was neither the omnipotent being it was when awake, nor the formless chaos of its slumber. It was a tangible reflection of the dreamer, a fusion of the infinite and the finite. In this form, Azathoth entered its own dream, both creator and participant. Through Thrazalith, it could subtly influence the multiverse it had birthed, leaving its mark on the story unfolding within its own mind. The form was not permanent, for even this self-made incarnation was subject to the chaos of the dream. But for a moment, Azathoth took a step closer to understanding the vision it had unknowingly created. Thrazalith's body was vast and otherworldly, resembling a bivalve shell, its surface slick and shimmering as though alive. The shell stood upon 8 jointed legs, each flexible yet strong, capable of bearing the weight of the cosmos. For massive crab-like claws extended from its sides, their movements precise and deliberate, as if they held the power to shape or shatter worlds. From the shell emerged a face that was both alien and commanding. It had no mouth, but its deep-set eyes seemed to see beyond time and space, their dark, glistening surfaces holding the weight of Azathoth's unknowable essence. For eons, the dream of Azathoth unfolded, fragile and vast. But dreams are never still, and even the slumber of a god is restless. At some unknowable moment, Azathoth began to stir. Its immense quaking rippled through the multiverse, shaking the foundations of the fledgling reality, threatening to consume all that had been formed. Nyarlathotep recoiled, her infinite expanses stretched to the brink. Yeb, once boundless and calm, surged and fractured under the strain. Even Nyarlathotep, the most dynamic and cunning of the three, was nearly undone by the quaking. The interaction of their energies, the delicate balance that sustained the higher realms, began to unravel. Nyarlathotep, sensing the impending collapse, reached out with a desperate prayer. Though the prayer had no words as mortals might understand them, his plea resonated through the void. We are fragments of the great dreamer, but we will perish if he wakes. Nameless Mist, hold the space. Primordial Darkness, steady the power. Together, we must act, or all will be lost. Nyarlathotep and Yog-Sothoth, though shaken, responded. Together with Nyarlathotep, they devised a solution to calm the dreaming god. From the infinite potential of Yog-Sothoth and the boundless realms of Nyarlathotep, they forged the servitors of the outer gods. Countless in number, these beings were formless and eternal, existing only to fulfill a single purpose, to lull Azathoth in the guise of Thrazolith back into the depths of slumber. Their visage resembles squids, frogs, and octopi in a state of ever-changing flux. They surrounded the blind idiot god, playing their maddening lullaby upon flutes and the rhythmic pounding of drums. The chaotic melodies resonated through the void, weaving a web of sound to soothe Azathoth's restless mind. As the music filled the abyss, Azathoth's stirring subsided. The quaking ceased, existence stabilized, and the fragile balance of the dream was preserved. The servitors continued their endless task, their strange music the only barrier between existence and annihilation. And so, the three firstborn entities watched over their creator, knowing that their survival, and the survival of all that had been dreamed, depended on the perpetual lullaby of the servitors. As the servitors played their endless, chaotic melody, the sound began to take on a life of its own. The beating of their drums and the shrill piping of their flutes resonated through the void, weaving patterns of rhythm and dissonance. From these vibrations, something new emerged, an entity born from the music itself. This being was Nyarlathotep, the dream conductor. He is a figure of sound and motion. His form was intangible, shifting like waves of heat in the air. He appeared as a living symphony, his presence a chorus of tones and rhythms that harmonized with the discordant melody of the servitors. Where they played blindly, Nyarlathotep guided them with intent. He orchestrated their flutes, drums, and pipes, weaving their chaotic sounds into a hypnotic cadence. Under his direction, the formless entities danced in patterns, their movements no longer random but part of a grand, unending performance. The music of Nyarlathotep did more than soothe Azathoth. It shaped the dream, stabilizing the multiverse and allowing it to continue expanding without collapsing into chaos. His lullaby became the heartbeat of existence, an eternal song that bound the dream together. Nyarlathotep's sole purpose was clear, to ensure the dreamer remained asleep. His music became the foundation of the court, a perpetual symphony that echoed across the higher realms, ensuring that all within the dream endured. From the vast, shifting expanse of Nyarlathotep came her first and greatest child, Yog-Sothoth. He was not born in a single moment but unfolded gradually, a manifestation of Nyarlathotep's boundless potential. Where she was the canvas of the higher realms, he became the framework of physical existence itself. Yog-Sothoth was the personification of space-time, an omniscient, omnipotent, and omnipresent being. He was the living boundary of the multiverse, his essence encompassing every dimension and timeline. Each of his infinite bubbles contained an entire universe, and within him, all things took place. To mortal eyes, if they could comprehend him, Yog-Sothoth might appear as a seething mass of luminous spheres, endlessly folding and unfolding upon themselves. Yet his form was not confined to sight or shape. He existed everywhere, at every moment, a simultaneous presence in all places and times. Through Yog-Sothoth, the story of Azathoth's dream found structure. He was the grand archivist of physical existence, his infinite awareness encompassing the past, present, and future of every reality. Nothing could be hidden from him, for all things were contained within his being. He was the key and the gate, the passage through which all creation moved. Though infinite and supreme, Yog-Sothoth did not act with malice or benevolence. He simply was, a living embodiment of all that Azathoth dreamed. Within him, Stars were born and died, civilizations rose and fell, and the eternal dance of existence unfolded. Nyarlathotep watched her child expand and settle, his presence adding a physical level to the dream. With Yog-Sothoth, the multiverse had found its axis, the foundation upon which all reality could turn. He was the mind of spacetime, the infinite framework that would forever define the boundaries of existence. From the depths of Yub came Shub-Niggurath, the black goat of the woods with 1,000 young. She was the embodiment of all matter and energy within the multiverse. Shub-Niggurath was the personification of everything that could be seen, touched, tasted, heard, and smelled. She was the foundation of physical reality, the source from which all things proceeded and the destination to which all things must return. If the multiverse was a dream, she was the substance of that dream, the very fabric of existence. Her form defied comprehension, an ever-shifting mass of flesh, tendrils, and shapes that pulsed with life and potential. From her ceaselessly flowed new creations, stars, planets, gods, and phenomena. She was both creator and destroyer, endlessly birthing and reabsorbing the matter and energy of the multiverse. Shub-Niggurath's influence was omnipresent, found in every physical thing, no matter how small or vast. Her essence was in the soil of distant worlds, the fire of the stars, the pulse of the oceans, and the breath of living beings. In her, the multiverse had formed, a stage upon which the endless stories of existence could unfold. Yet Shub-Niggurath was not static. She was growth, decay, and transformation. Her energy surged and ebbed, cycling endlessly to ensure the dream of Azathoth did not stagnate. From her vitality sprang all that was beautiful and terrible, harmonious and chaotic. Yub looked upon his child and saw in her the embodiment of his boundless energy made manifest. She was his greatest creation, a force without end, the source of life and the harbinger of death. Through Shub-Niggurath, the multiverse thrived, a living testament to the dreamer's chaotic yet fertile imagination. Amid the endless Court of Azathoth, where the nameless servitors beat their drums and piped their flutes in eternal rhythm, a few began to change. Though created with the sole purpose of lulling the dreamer into deeper slumber, their proximity to the raw chaos of the dream imbued them with strange potential. Over countless eons, a few of these servitors evolved into entities of greater power and individuality, breaking free from their original purpose to carve out their own roles within the multiverse. The transformation began subtly, with certain servitors distinguishing themselves from the endless throng. These nascent deities drew energy from the rhythms they once mindlessly maintained, their forms expanding, their minds sharpening. They became more than instruments of the lullaby. They became embodiments of unique aspects of Azathoth's dream. Tulsha, the green flame, was one of the first to ascend. Once a flickering ember among the nameless throng, Tulsha grew into a roaring flame, embodying chaos and transformation. Her radiance became a portal to realms beyond comprehension, her flicker a symbol of ceaseless change. Tulsha's evolution marked the beginning of the servitor's ascension, proving that even the smallest spark could hold infinite potential. Zephrolus, the discoverable number, emerged from the vibrations of the pipes, her essence woven from the interplay of sound and form. As a servitor, Zephrolus had been indistinct, but she evolved into a deity of precise measurements, pulling back the layers of reality to expose its hidden flow. Her presence was both illuminating and terrifying, resembling an ever-changing assortment of shapes and pillars, or sometimes as a mass of clockwork and machines. Yog-Sothoth, the source and the end, oozed into being as a sprawling, amorphous mass. She is the personification of the primordial soup, existing on an infinite number of worlds. She is endlessly spawning biological life forms from her depths. These primal creations carry the sparks of life into the multiverse, where evolution and adaptation take root. Because of her, the myriad souls spawned by Yub have bodies to interact with and experience reality. In the labyrinthine void, Atlachnacha, the spider of the Matrix, weaves her vast webs of wormholes. Her purpose is connecting the farthest reaches of reality. Each thread a shimmering portal, binding dimensions, times, and realms into a complex, interwoven tapestry, allowing the multiverse to breathe as one. Her form is that of a giant spider with a human-like face. Looming among the stars is Nibiru, the Devourer, a massive, living planet the size of Saturn. He is blood-red in color with a single massive eye and gaping maw. His appetite is satisfied only by the endless devouring of planets. Krenthasa, the living furnace, is a goddess of seething, molten plasma, her immense form radiating life-giving heat and magnetic energy. She resides at the heart of all planets, her ever-churning essence, the core of their vitality. Pulsing with raw power, her glowing plasma body shifts and roils, emanating waves of heat that nurture life on the surface above and magnetic fields that shield worlds from cosmic chaos. Though hidden deep within the crusts of countless worlds, her influence is felt in every heartbeat and the rhythm of tectonic movements, a silent yet essential force sustaining creation. Yonda, the primal urge, is the embodiment of animalistic instinct and the raw drives that govern all living creatures. She manifests as an ever-shifting silhouette of predatory and prey animals intertwined, their forms flickering like a dance of survival and desire. Her presence is a pulse in the blood, a whisper in the mind that urges creatures to hunt, to flee, to mate, to protect. Yonda is neither cruel nor compassionate. She is pure, unyielding instinct, the force that compels life to persist and evolve through the relentless cycles of nature. These ascensions were not without consequence. As the servitors evolved, they distanced themselves from their original roles, the newfound powers rippling through the multiverse. Their transformations introduced new forces of change and complexity, their presence reshaping the dream. Yet, despite their ascension, these deities remained bound to Azathoth's dream, their fates tied to the eternal slumber of the blind idiot god. They were no longer mere servitors, but neither were they free, for all that exists remains an echo of the dreamer's infinite imagination. As the multiverse expanded within the dream of Azathoth, the forces of space-time and matter converged. Yog-Sothoth, the infinite framework of all that was and would be, joined with Shub-Niggurath, the boundless source of all that was tangible. From this convergence emerged the twin progeny, Nug and Yeb. They were the offspring of space-time and substance, embodiments of their parents' combined essence. Their forms drew on traits from both of their parents. They resembled goats with spheres constantly emerging and being reabsorbed into their bodies. Mouths and tentacles emerged from their sides before being reabsorbed. Nug was a creature of form and structure, representing the stabilizing aspects of the union. From him flowed order and pattern, the balance needed for the multiverse to endure. Though he inherited Shub-Niggurath's vitality and Yog-Sothoth's connection to the infinite, his nature leaned toward the tangible, a bridge between the chaotic energy of his mother and the vast knowledge of his father. Yeb, by contrast, embodied flux and transformation. While Nug brought form, Yeb brought change, ensuring the multiverse would remain dynamic and evolving. She was chaos within structure, an echo of Azathoth's dream in its purest state. Through her, the multiverse retained its boundless potential, forever shifting, creating, and dissolving. The twins were distinct yet inseparable, their energies intertwined. Where Nug moved to build and sustain, Yeb danced to disrupt and renew. Together, they became the cycle of creation and destruction, ensuring that no part of the multiverse remained static for too long. Their birth marked a turning point in Azathoth's dream. With Nug and Yeb, the dream gained layers of complexity as their interactions rippled outward to shape galaxies, stars, and life itself. Yog-Sothoth and Shub-Niggurath, though infinite and supreme, were content to let their children carry forward the endless story of existence, each step an echo of the dreamer's boundless imagination. As time stretched on within Azathoth's dream, Nug and Yeb grew restless. Born from the union of space-time and matter, they inherited vast power and potential. Yet their existence lacked direction, and they found themselves unmoored in the infinite expanse of the multiverse. To ease their boredom, the twins devised a game, a cosmic experiment to amuse themselves and test the boundaries of creation. They would fashion beings of minuscule power compared to themselves, but of immense power compared to the myriads of biological life forms throughout the universes. These beings were shaped with no purpose beyond the joy of seeing what might unfold. These beings came to be known as the Great Old Ones. With Yeb's chaotic creativity and Nug's structural focus, they forged each Great Old One as a unique entity. Some were grotesque and terrifying, others majestic and strange. Each was imbued with its own desires, strengths, and quirks, a reflection of the twins' whimsy and curiosity. There were countless Great Old Ones throughout the vast multiverse. And so, the multiverse came into existence, a boundless expanse born from the slumbering chaos of Azathoth's dream. Within its vast folds, the interplay of Nyarlathotep, Nameless Mist, and Primordial Darkness set the stage for creation, their union birthing deities and forces that shaped the realms of existence. From Yog-Sothoth's infinite spacetime to Shub-Niggurath's fertile abundance, from the servitors' endless song to Nug and Yeb's playful experiments, every element found its place in the ever-expanding tapestry of the dream. The multiverse was not static, it writhed and churned, driven by the interactions of its countless inhabitants. The ascension of servitors, the weaving of Nyarlathotep's cosmic webs, and the vibrant sparks of biology from Azathoth, all these forces stirred the dream, ensuring its eternal dynamism. Within every universe, countless stories unfolded, each a thread in the grand narrative that Azathoth's dream wove endlessly. Yet, even as these stories began to play out, the multiverse remained precariously balanced. Azathoth stirred from time to time, the tremors of his quaking threatening to unravel all that had been created. But the servitors, led by Nyarlathotep and guided by the primal instincts of survival and harmony, played their instruments with unyielding devotion. This, then, was how the story of reality began. It was not a tale with a single protagonist or a defined path, but a symphony of chaos and order, destruction and creation, woven from the threads of infinite possibility. Each being, from the mightiest deity to the smallest speck of life, played its part, contributing to the eternal unfolding of the dream. And as the dreamer slumbered, the multiverse thrived, its story unfurling across the vast expanse of existence, a story with no beginning and no end, an eternal dance in the mind of a sleeping god.